This looks like a good video to watch, chat.
Bro, his life is, he's like, my career is over. Like, he was just like sitting across from him going, I guess we have a different brand now. Like, I guess we have to all, we have to go our separate ways, What is this?
There's a certain beauty and a curse that comes with live streaming. If you make a mistake, there's no undo button. You can't just cut it out. If it's there on a live stream, it's there forever.
Yeah, that's the worst thing about live streaming, straight up.
And we've seen time and time again that one simple, single blunder, one little split-second mistake can cost people their entire online career, whether that's from something they say or something they do. In fact, we actually just saw this very phenomenon happen a month ago, where a big streamer named Atrioc was live and alt-tabbed, which for a literal fucking nanosecond flashed his deepfake porn on stream, and that cost him everything. Years upon years of work undone in an instant because he jump scared everyone with his deepfake porn, which revealed a lot of awful things about the whole situation and everything that was going on there. Point is, on live streams, there's no going back, and we've seen time and time again this lead to the downfall of an entire career. And we almost saw it again last night with Linus Tech Tips. Linus has built an empire online. He is an incredible creator who has done amazing work for so long now. And last night he almost wiped his ass with the entire fucking thing.
I mean, it's been kind of eye-opening. I've just sort of randomly here and there picked up episodes of old shows that I hadn't watched in a long time from like the early 2000s, and just the casual the casual sort of gay humor.
We've entered the danger zone here on stream. This is like Chernobyl just waiting to melt down because of something he's about to say.
This is why what I do is like, behind closed doors, streamers always, or maybe even sometimes on camera will say this, but they're always like, bro, I don't know how the fuck you do what you do. Because one of the scariest parts of streaming is like saying anything and everything that will get misconstrued, specifically about politics, where people have like a lot of heated opinions on. So, that's why he immediately goes, oh, you said, a lot of videos had gay stuff. Immediately, that's like, uh-oh, you're in the fucking danger zone. Can't believe you're even bringing that up. That's crazy, right? I do this every day. Literally every day. So think about that. Next time you see a fucking quote about me or something that people are completely making up. 10 hours of talking, something is going to get misconstrued. Always. Easiest clap of all time.
But to paint the picture, what he's talking about here is how not that long ago, things were more acceptable in content and media that aren't acceptable today. He's talking about how things have changed, and in particular, he's mentioning how, like, some shows would have casual gay humor, where back in the earlier 2000s, that was a very common thing. Calling something gay was used pretty much everywhere for everything. If someone got a cheeseburger that didn't have enough cheese on it, they'd say, that's gay. If you were walking down the stairs and you missed a step and you started to tumble down the stairs, you'd be screaming, this is gay! Like, all the way down. If a buddy of yours asked to bring his girlfriend along to, like, the boys' night out, you'd say, stop being gay. That kind of shit. That's what he's talking about. And he's saying, it hasn't been that long, and going back and...
Ironic because it cycled back and it's now in fashion again, ironically. Like, back then, that was considered, like, inappropriate, understandably, because it was, like, homophobic. But your politics is accepted here on Twitch, dude? Oh, man. Brother, I don't know what the reason is for why you're saying this, but no. No, it's not. There's a lot of people who, of course, regularly clip me out of context specifically so they can make it seem like, I'm a bannable. And unless you mean like, well, my politics in particular is about ethnic cleansing or some shit like that, I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, my politics is about. Yes, otherwise your stuff would have been over a long time ago. Yes, my politics is not about ethnic cleansing, and instead about like giving people health care. So yes, that is precisely the reason why I don't get banned for saying the things I believe and say. I have, however, gotten banned for saying the C word, for example. That's a part of my politics. Not necessarily the fact that like defending Stalin is shit, dude. Come on. See, you are literally doing the thing I'm talking about. You think Twitch is a bunch of rugged Stalinists? Do you think I am defending Stalin? The only time I've ever defended Stalin is when we're talking about, I guess, eviscerating Nazis. The USSR, taking on most of the burden when defeating the Nazis. And before you bring up the MR pact, okay, Molotov-Ribbentrop or whatever the fuck, right? Before you get into that, you already jumped to say I'm defending Stalin, doing precisely what I had just
That's good.
said. Because you can't find anything that's real, you turn around and you fucking make shit up. Also, just like hard conservatives with far right shit, no, not just like hard conservatives with far right shit. I'm talking to an account from 2 days ago for the record. Remember, I do this all the time, so I can have this kind of conversation. Remember, I can have this kind of conversation, but again, I'm at some point I'm arguing with someone who is just imagining things. Okay? We often talk about Twitter. We often talk about Twitter being a space infested with like people who get mad when you say I like pancakes because they assume you mean, oh, that means you hate waffles, right? That happens in real time in my chat all the time. And it's very frustrating, and I yell at people for doing it all the time. But I'm gonna stop stalling this video and let's keep watching.
Watching shows that still have that humor in it was jarring to him.
Casual use of the hard R.
Oh, really?
It's jarring. Yeah, it's jarring now. And for
Casual use of hard R.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Like okay, it was an episode of American Dad. And it was just
Really?
like, yeah, it wasn't for shock value. It was just like used.
Buckle your seatbelt because this ride's getting real bumpy now. The train is getting off the tracks. We're going wacko mode here. So hard R, as I'm sure all of you probably understand, is a very serious slur. Like that's not, empty calories.
It's like the number one slur.
That's no sack of potatoes. That's a big fucking slur. And he's saying that it was used casually back in the early 2000s and even mentions a example with American Dad. Now, with my hand on a stack of Bibles, I'll just tell you, I'm not the biggest American Dad fan. I'll just be honest with you. I haven't watched a ton of it. I'm not the biggest spectator of the show. So maybe this episode he's talking about flew under the radar. I never heard of it, never watched it, but that took me by surprise. And I really love Luke's reaction, his co-host here, because you can see him like, hard R, excuse me, what
What
kind of
shows were you watching, Linus?
fantasy land are you living in, Linus, where hard R's were casual? Because I and Luke and probably everyone else in the world can't really recall a time where normal TV shows were dropping racist slurs casually like that.
Whoa.
Right? Well, I mean, here's the thing, right? That was in 2003 or something, like 2002.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna deny that I dropped my fair share of hard R's back then because we didn't even the term hard R.
Oh, he just got yes. Oh, I love this. Oh my god, it's so good. It's like he's fucking Walter White in the car going, Linus, hard R is something different. Linus, that's the wrong R. That's the wrong word. Oh, that's so funny, man.
Didn't even exist. We didn't think about it, right? And it's funny because to me that doesn't feel like that long ago.
As a big fan of Linus, when I heard that, I had to stand up from my chair, hands on my hip. I was like, all right, it's over. I felt like a coach who had just watched his team lose the championship ball game. Like, you take my hat off, put it over my chest and say a prayer for him, because I was like, God rest his soul, this is the end of Linus. And you can see Luke, like, he shakes his head, like, in disbelief, and then he's just looking down. And I already know, during this moment where Linus is, like, admitting to using hard R's casually, he's processing this as like, yep, back to the old grind. This is where it all ends, huh? This is the end of our run. He was just seeing all the walls around him starting to crumble, the Empire burning to a crisp, all because Linus is just freely loosey-goosey admitting to using the hard R casually often.
Brother, he doesn't mean the N-word with a hard R. If you haven't figured this out at this point, I don't know what to tell you. That is not what he meant. He just was having a fucking boomer moment, okay? Like a white Canadian boomer moment.
But do not despair, because not all is as it seems here.
But to my kids,
Are you talking like N-word hard R?
what? No,
Okay. I'm pretty sure that's how people use that term.
no.
I think
That's
so.
the N word. What are you guys talking about? Am I mistaken?
I think so.
No, the one with the for mental disability.
I'm pretty sure people use hard R in a very different way than you just used it.
Oh.
Bro, he's like, my career is over. Like, he was just like sitting across from him going, I guess we have a different brand now. Like, I guess we have to all, we have to go our separate ways,
Okay, either
Hard
way.
R means ending
I understand.
the N-word
I
with
understand.
a hard R.
I understand what you mean. No, I'm not talking about that.
You can feel life be breathed back into the room. Like, once Linus elaborates that he wasn't talking about the N-word, he was talking about the word used with mental disabilities.
The funniest part is when he goes, what are you talking about? Like he's just like, he thinks the other person is being careless here. Like, what? No, it's the hard R, What do you mean? I'm thinking, like, how many times has he said this not on camera? You know what I mean? He's going around having, like, private conversations with people in his friend groups, like, just accidentally outing himself as, like, a gigantic racist when he's not. You know what I mean? Like, all of his friends probably are like, what the fuck? Yo, I had no idea Linus was like that. Oh, that's awesome.
And collectively, all at once, the whole room comes back to life. This reminds me of a very famous quote from the late, great Uncle Ben, God rest his soul, when he sat down Peter Parker in that car and he said, with great power comes great responsibility. In this case, it's with great power comes great fucking blunders. This was an amazing disaster to watch unfold with, like, the wackiest plot twist of an ending. I have never once heard the hard R refer to anything other than the racist slur. So when he just started willy-nilly admitting to using it casually, I couldn't believe my goddamn ears, and I know every coworker was panicked texting each other saying like, hey, really enjoyed our time together, it's fucking over, tune into the stream. Like, I have no doubt that was probably...
Oh my God, Linus race tips.
Gotta pull out all the stops. We need all white power.
Oh no! Stop! No! That's from 2 years ago too. How the fuck did you find this, chatter? Oh, bro, he's got to be more careful. Dude, you guys are crazy. I think, how are you, Rosie? You are in this community for 12 months now. How have you not realized that, like, what you're talking about is an impossibility? You can do whatever you can. You can do whatever you can. Linus getting caught up in this way is quite literally the perfect representation of, like, no matter how careful you are, no matter how little you talk about politics or whatever, like, politics still comes for you. Limo, why do you think the hard R meant that, though? Like, it's just R, no hard or soft or anything. I think he meant, like, the R word. Like, his brain connected the hard R with the R word, probably. So he He's been running around saying that. You know what I mean? Which I think is fucking hilarious. Like, actually. To be fair, Linus is pretty political. I mean, he is a little political, but ultimately... Yeah, see, that OG clip probably said all-white power supply, right? But they clipped it to say all-white power. It doesn't matter. No matter what you say or do, people will always clip it. My husband thought this as well. At dinner, he mentioned he used the hard R and I spat out my drink. Yeah. So whenever people fucking turn around and they're like, oh, you should be more careful, it's like, what do you mean? You can be the most careful motherfucker on the planet. I am arguably not very careful with my, with the way I engage in humor and whatnot, and the things I cover are very political. But as far as like demonstrating political concepts, as far as talking about like serious political concepts, in the moment when I want you to understand what my perspective is, I'll be very deliberate and very careful with my statements. And even then, people will find a way to come in and be like, you're defending Stalin. You know, you just saw it happen earlier. You know, no matter what happens, like even if you don't want to give people the opportunity to shit on you, which I have plenty of times, which people will never let me live down, right? You know, we all know what America deserved, all right? You know what I'm saying? Even if I try to not have like Ethan moments, like Ethan Klein moments, and I've gotten a lot better at not having Ethan Klein moments over the course of streaming nonstop for as long as I have, right? It still kind of doesn't matter because people will still find a way to misconstrue things I'm saying.
By the scariest moment of their careers, listening to Linus just for some reason admit to using the hard R often. And then, of course, the grand reveal where...
Is it cancelable to admit if you were racist 20 years ago and have since reformed? I mean, you're asking the wrong guy because, of course, I don't think it's cancelable. I also don't think that it's like cancel culture is real anyway. But I think, yeah, I believe in rehabilitation. So, like, yeah, if you have truly reformed, if you're an anti-racist, like, yeah, that is literally my goal. My goal is to change people's minds. You know what I mean? People will get mad at that because I think it, like, for them, it represents yet another glaring example of privilege, and it, like, reinforces the cycle of violence and trauma that they've been subjected to if they're from the marginalized community that we speak of. But ultimately, you know, if someone was, I mean, dude, I believe in life after hate is like a good example, right? These are charities that specifically work with like former Nazis who want to get out of like the cult-like Nazi ideology that they were once a part of. So like, if I believe in that, and if I believe in rehabilitation for everybody, of course I don't believe in fucking, you know, endlessly yelling at people for things that they have said back in the day, especially if they don't fucking maintain that position any longer. And they have made up for it. You know what I mean? They've like, I don't know.
Where he wasn't actually talking about racist shit. He was referring to something different entirely. And then this is the aftermath of that.
Okay, cool. So I'm glad that
I'm
we have
freaking
cleared that
Neo
up.
over here, dude. We're dodging bullets. That
Yeah.
was bad.
Okay, yes.
All right.
Right. I forgot about the part where I said, yeah, I just like used it. Yeah, no, actually.
We can breathe. Everything's okay.
Cool. So
right.
I hope everyone likes not having a job anymore on Monday, because apparently I'm a giant racist.
We didn't lose our money in the bank crash. The bank run.
In the audience run.
What a journey we went on for about 2 minutes there with this whole section. Yeah, I just wanted to talk about this because this was the closest I've seen to someone just committing career suicide with a smile on their face during it. Big misunderstanding here, I suppose. And yeah, I just wanted to talk about it a little bit. That's really about it. So yeah.
Yeah, the Linus media empire almost crumbled, dude. That was fucking crazy.
That was such a good video.